The UK has seen a rise in the number of children struggling with their mental health and well-being. With everyone now focused on well-being as part of their agenda, there's one place we're overlooking: the classroom. My name is Shahana Knight and I'm reinventing UK classrooms. Why? Because the average classroom is cluttered, bright and uncomfortable, and they're not designed around the needs of the children today. Let's be honest, classrooms haven't changed much in the last 50 years, and that's not good enough. It's time to raise standards and redesign a space purposefully, ensuring rooms are trauma-informed and attachment aware. In this series, we'll be sharing the stories of some brave schools who've handed over their classrooms to me as part of their dedication to support mental health and well-being. I will be challenging perceptions, listening to the children, and finally getting rid of those awful plastic tables and chairs. Can we challenge the status quo and set a new standard for UK schools? We're going to try, and it starts here by reinventing classrooms. This week, we're in a primary school called Egremont Primary School in the Wirral, and we're here with Mel Eastwood, who's the head teacher. I'm just about to meet her and have a walk around the school to learn all about the amazing things they do here, because they don't do things like your average school. In fact, they're very, very unique and very special here, and everything they do puts mental health and well-being at the core of the whole school ethos, which obviously I absolutely love. I'm going to design two spaces within the school. One will be a Year 3-4 classroom and one will be a Year 5-6 classroom. And children are going to be referred into these spaces from outside the school environment, so they're not actually here yet. These children will be struggling with adverse experiences, trauma, social and emotional mental health, and they might have mild autism. So this is a really special project. I cannot wait to hear what they've got to tell me about all the wonderful things that they do. So let's go meet Mel now.
Okay, I'm Mel Eastwood, I'm head teacher of Egremont Primary School. Here we are in Wallasey. It's a great place to be. Okay, my aim for this project would be that we're continuing to support the children within our school and within the community with a curriculum and with an experience that's tailored to each one of them. It's something that we'd already started with a number of our children that we had that were already in school, and we know that it was working well. Nurture, pastoral care, what happens outside before the school day, outside of the school day, during the holidays, you know, we don't have much control out of, but we want to make sure that when children are in school with us, they're getting the best experience, and we're equipping them with the best skills to be able to be the best that they can be.
Before we got started on the classrooms, Mel showed me around the school and talked me through all of the things they do here to support well-being. The school is committed to doing things differently and always strive to go above and beyond for their children and the families and communities, and that starts the moment you enter the building.
Okay, so this is kind of our like pastoral entrance, if you like. We as staff, SLT, are always outside in the gate in the morning. It's a great start to the day. We get a chance to see who our children are that are coming in. Yeah. Who's in, who's not in, who do we then need to go and collect. We can see who's got their uniform on, who's maybe got something missing, and also we get sort of first sight of parents as well. You know, we can eliminate any problems without having to make a formal meeting. So this is where this all happens. The children will then come in here and then go to the classes, but also it's kind of a bit of a discreet way of getting our children in and a way of us just making sure that they're all okay. So this is our uniform area. And in here we'll have a section of coats. You know, it could be winter and the children don't come in with, they might have socks, they might have a hole in.
Or shoes.
Tights, or they've not got the right shoes, or what we want to do, as I say, we're totally inclusive. It could be that a child hasn't got a uniform because, you know, the dog's ate it or whatever, you know. It could be a uniform issue because of some circumstances at home. It doesn't matter, we don't judge. Yeah. But whatever the issue is, when we're children coming into here, we want everybody to be the same, you know, to be in a uniform and to fit in and to feel inclusive and to feel part of school. Part of the family of school. So we could suit them and boot them, whatever they needed. I love it. And then they sort of, they've all set up and ready for the day. hair bobbles, hair ties, you name it, we've got it, it's in here. Toothbrushes,
Wow.
It could be that they've missed, they've not brought something, or this would be in here, yeah.
I love it. So there's a uniform for the kids, but also you've got a uniform. So
Yeah.
I've got this, you gave me this before, which obviously you wear every day with the staff, and this.
Yeah.
Why? I usually see staff in like dresses or suits, or why this?
A few reasons really. We like to be in a uniform. We want to still show the children that we're being, it's important about your appearance.
Yeah.
We want that to still sort of to be the case. And we want to be comfortable. We do a lot of going out onto sort of the streets. We might be dealing with a child. We might be going to somebody's house. On a level of formality, we feel that sort of dressing in a more informal way is really important. If we're going knocking on somebody's door and you're all suited and booted, we'll get a completely different response and reception from the parent than we would do otherwise. If we're kind of just sort of more comfortable, And the staff like it. The staff are comfortable in it, and it works for us. It's our Egremont way, And also, so staff would come into school, they'll be dressed formally in the school wear. We would encourage that, or they'll wear this. What we didn't want is the difference in between, where staff might be coming in on a PE day and maybe they're just wearing their own joggers. So that's why they would wear this uniform, or they'd wear their work uniform, which would be more formal. And then we have all of these for the children as well. We have a Fit Friday where everybody comes in fitness clothes. They would have their jumper or it'd be their uniform, and then we promote fitness throughout school anyway. So Fit Friday is where it started, but now it's kind of Hoodie Friday, and everybody loves a hoodie day, don't they?
Well, I love a hoodie day, so I feel like, since I'm doing these classroom makeovers,
absolutely.
I should maybe have a hoodie.
Okay, well, we can sort you one out.
This uniform cupboard is a brilliant idea, and the team here also provide free uniform for their families whenever they can.
So this is sort of an extension, I suppose, of our school uniforms. We've had new logo. We know that there's an expense with uniform anyway, so as a minimum, with the grant that we were able to get, we wanted to make sure that every single child has a jumper. So we've got the jumpers.
They've all got a jumper.
And then with that, we were in a position where we could then look at what else we could provide. We've got coats, shoes, jumpers. I mean, these are amazing. They're so warm.
This is free.
Yeah, so this is all free.
Wow.
So a full uniform will come to, I don't know, maybe £150 or something with everything. We have Fit Friday, so we've got jogging suits, we've got hoodies. Everybody's looking the same. Everybody's kind of conforming. Everybody fits in. No one stands out, and that's really important. We obviously have to have limits on we can't give the whole thing to everybody. But we are absolutely doing what we can to see that everybody gets as much as possible. And there's various reasons why we've looked at at different families and who can have what. Sort of expense around here. And so this is all ready for collection, and we have some of it bagged up for families. Shoes, there'll be pumps. We always give all of our new starters a uniform anyway, so all our new little people that come in for early years and all nursery will already get a full uniform. Any of our new arrivals, international new arrivals, would always get a uniform.
Wow.
And this would be the most that they would get. And it would be great if we could give everybody
a
great pile. It really, really would. But, it's not possible. But at least we can do something for everybody, and we can do a lot more for some.
And how have you done this? Because if everybody gets these free, did you apply for a grant?
Yeah, so we applied for a grant to be able to do that, and I say we also have done a lot of fundraising through our Vulnerable Group Fund to be able sort of to top that up. And we then sent out order forms. We obviously had to request that people returned them on time, and some people were able to, and then we just sort of worked our way through the list and then allocated it. And this is summer holiday at Egremont. This is what our summer holidays looks like.
When people say teachers have a break.
No,
they don't.
This is our summer.
This
is what our summer. So as I say, this is ready for pickup, and the plan is to go for a pile.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. Sometimes the word well-being can become a bit of a buzzword,
But for the staff here, well-being means considering the whole child, and that includes their families too. After showing me the uniform cupboard, Mel takes me to their food cupboard, which exists to support the families whenever they might need it.
So food cupboard, as I say, this is our pastoral area. It's a side entrance, so it's quite discreet. It's not sort of anybody can use it. What this does is this provides for whoever needs it. Somebody who's having a bad day, a bad week, somebody who's a bit short. It doesn't matter. As I say, it would be for whatever reason. Somebody would be able to come and have a bag. Jan and Sarah from the office always have them out ready. Or we would just bring a parent up and they could just kind of take a look and decide what it is that they want. So it would be various items. We have some grants that we accessed for this food that gets delivered, and it comes every couple of months on all the pallets. Sometimes it works out really well and there's a really good balance. So we had loads of pasta and loads of sauce, but now we've got loads of rice with sauce. So then what we'll do is we'll look at the fund that we have. We have a vulnerable group fund as part of our fundraising money within school, and we'd then maybe do an Asda order, and it could be that we'll maybe have a bit of a curry week, and we'll put together a bag and we'll go and get some fresh food and we'll put that in the bag as well, and it might be that they've got all the ingredients for curry, we've got the sauce and the rice, or maybe we think, we need to get some more pasta, or don't possibly need any more tea bags.
Or coffee.
Yeah,
but there's loads.
And baked beans. So sometimes we do have too much of it because it's only a small room, but then literally a stone's throw is the community centre.
Right.
So it would be that we would send it over to the community centre. They have a little shop in there as well, and we'd send it over for them, and they use it as well.
So do families need these? Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, tell us about, because obviously you've got it for a reason, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that you're packing bags and giving families food?
So it's something we started during lockdown.
Right.
There's the rising cost of living.
Yeah.
We're aware that some of our parents struggle financially anyway, but then everybody has a bad day when they also may need just like a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And and we found that there was so many kind people and so many kind agencies that were providing this kind of thing. There was a need for it.
Yeah.
We probably go through, don't know, maybe about 40 or 50 bags a week.
Wow.
And we can, it's just something else that we can do. It's something else that we can help with, and whilst it's not teaching a child, maths or English, what we're doing is we're looking at all of the factors surrounding the child being able to learn.
I love that.
And what can we do? Okay, they may need coffee. The parents may need coffee. But the children need to eat.
But
they need to
food,
sleep. We need to know that they're nourished, that the mind's nourished, that the heart's nourished. We need to make sure that we're doing all that we can to make their learning experience in school a good one. And if it means that we have to extend outside of the school day and see other ways that we can do that, well, we will. And we're just always thinking of whatever we can do and what we'll come up with next.
You're making me a little bit emotional because honestly, it's so important and so special, and it really is about thinking about the whole child.
Yeah.
You're not just saying, come here, sit down, learn, and we expect you to learn.
No.
And whatever's going on externally, that's outside of these walls.
Yeah.
What you're saying is, look, anything that you need for us to help you to be the best version of you that you can be, we will provide.
Absolutely.
And that is just really amazing.
Yeah, we had a child who wasn't able to sit in the classroom, who wasn't able to access, who wasn't sleeping. We know that they weren't sleeping because it may be that they didn't have a bedroom, or maybe the house was chaotic, or it's a blended family, or lots of different circumstances. We knew that by providing a bed, whilst it wasn't teaching the child how to spell or his phonics or his sounds, we knew that a bed would allow him to sleep, which would allow more more productivity when he gets to school. It means that he was calmer at home. It was supporting his siblings, who may be younger, who may be older. It's just, if there's anything that we can do, we'll find a way of doing it. And as I say, it's through kind donations from people that we have a fund that allows us to do those kind of things.
I'm so glad that you came last minute on this programme, because I genuinely believe that this is the sort of thing every school should see.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing it.
There is so much we can learn from Mel and the team here when it comes to their approach, and I love how they think outside the box and put what feels right before the norm. It's Makeover Day at Egremont Primary School, and I am so excited today because today we're going to celebrate all of the things that make our approach trauma-informed and attachment aware, because that is what the children here need. This primary school is obviously a very special school who embed wellbeing and mental health into every fabric of the school ethos. It was a pleasure to be asked to come here and help with even just a little bit of their vision. My job was to help them with their social, emotional and mental health provision and to provide 2 calm, safe, therapeutic classrooms for their children. These classes will be mixed, with one room supporting years 3 to 4 and the other supporting years 5 to 6, and I couldn't wait to get stuck in. So here we are in the year 3-4 classroom. Now this classroom was, although very big, quite overwhelming and quite bright. There were lots of things on the walls and lots of things around the room and lots of colours. And so what's important about this space is that we tone that down. It's obvious the staff were trying to make it welcoming and bright, and that's lovely, but actually this room's got a very special purpose, so we need to rethink that. The children that are going to come into this space are actually being referred in, and so they may have had experiences in other schools where things are quite tricky for them. They might also be dealing with some really tricky things at home or have had some adverse or traumatic experiences in their lives. And so when they come into school, they're going to have higher levels of stress hormone, they're going to struggle maybe with hyperactivity or stress or feeling overwhelmed or anxious. And so this room needs to feel really safe and really calming to bring down some of those stressful hormones so that they can learn. And that is our goal with this classroom. This is the year 5 and 6 space. And similarly, children being referred into here will also be struggling with social and emotional and mental health needs. And so again, this space needs to feel really calming and relaxing. It's really important to remember that actually these children have been in other schools and they may have found those schools really difficult. That means that when they come into any school environment, there's going to be aspects of that environment that are triggering. So maybe the laminated posters, maybe the bright colours, maybe the fact that it's the classroom tables and the chairs, the fact they feel uncomfortable when they sit down, or they have to sit for long periods of time, and they feel very contained and very controlled. Those things can feel like triggers, and that means that for those children they feel overwhelmed and maybe a little bit boxed in by some of the things we expect from them in a school environment. Now, when they come here, this is another chance to have a different learning experience. And so for me, and for the teachers here, this space really needs to feel completely different than your average classroom. So we're not saying to the children, here we go again. In another school, in another classroom, plastic chairs, same look, which then will give the same behaviours. Instead, when they come here, what they're going to experience is nurture. And that's really important and maybe not what they've experienced up to this point. They're going to be welcomed in, they're going to be able to have breakfast if they've not had it, sit on the sofa, they can filter in slowly as they're ready and not be expected to learn straight away at 9 o'clock. And that will make the difference for these children and hopefully change some of the outcomes for them. So those bar stools are going to go there and one there.
These?
With this bit facing out, yeah. So if we just... Oh, they're actually, we could probably do one each, couldn't we?
Yeah.
The children who'll be coming into these classrooms are my inspiration throughout this project. I'd spent months before the summer designing these classroom spaces and had sourced and ordered everything for the school. It was now time to put it all together and see it come to life. The amazing team here showed up to help, and I took some time to sit down with them to talk about why these therapeutic classrooms were so important to them.
I think children's mental health here at this school, as well as every school within the UK, is of high importance because since lockdown, we need to have a close focus on the children, how they are getting on, how they are feeling each day. Here we focus on that every morning as soon as the children come in. We know exactly what they've been up to the night before, what they have done in the morning, how they are going to approach each day, and just treating each child as the individual that they are is important everywhere.
Yeah. Within our new classrooms, a big focus for us will be helping the children to regulate their emotions so that they can focus on how they are feeling. But also, if you don't know how you're feeling, how can you regulate those emotions? So if you come in and you're not feeling great, how can you learn? And the reason for coming to school is to be able to learn, so we need to help them to do that. We also have lots of things and lots of different activities throughout school. We're in this beautiful homeroom that we already had set up, where the children come to do life skills and things like that to help them with their well-being so they can become independent outside of school. And we also think that's really important as well, don't we?
So I'll go. This is the best bit, putting all the soft furnishings out everywhere.
When I saw your work and we looked at the therapies in classrooms, it was part of a discussion that we would already be having, but we hadn't actually made the connection that there was somebody that would do that. So we'd thought, you know, our children are learning better in this environment or in this environment. To actually combine the nurture room as being a classroom wasn't something that we'd thought of. So aligning those two models has really been something quite special, quite phenomenal really, that it's exactly the direction that we want to be able to go in, that we're combining nurture with learning, and you know, and the two are overlapping because one thing is impacting so importantly on the other anyway. So it's just been really great to be involved in, and you know, I'm really happy with, I'm quite excited, you know, about what's going to come of it.
So Mel, tell us about the sensory room. You've got so many unique aspects to this school that you wouldn't find anywhere else, this being one of them. Mm-hmm. What?
We had a sensory room. In the past, it was various things. A sensory would be different items, different fields, operate in different ways, and for different levels of need. It just wasn't a really good one.
Right.
And we have a very sort of I have a very clear vision in my mind that if we're going to do something, we do it well.
Yeah.
If we're not going to do it well, we'll wait till we can do it well, or we'll not do it. So we wanted a sensory room, and if you're going to have a sensory room, it's got to be a good one. So, you know, we did a lot of research on this. The staff painted it, and they were all involved. The colour monster is a theme that we sort of have through school, which is about de-escalating levels of behaviour and fuzziness in your head to being your kind of your calm pink monster. Still be a monster, but you can be a pink monster instead of a fuzzy monster.
Yeah, I love that.
So again, anybody can come and use this. The children use it at lunchtime. They can come in small groups. They can sit on the spinny chairs. This is one of the absolute favourite spinny chairs. I'm not going to model it, but the speed that children can get on this is really quite something. And we're sort of building it. These lights all light up. We can play music in here, and the children love it. They can just be calm. They could come in and they have a story. Yeah. It's a small enough space, or big enough space, should I say, to be able to have a full class in here. Wow. Our classes are generally small sizes anyway. They love it in here. The staff love it. What we've also started doing as well, and what we're going to develop, is use to sort of to younger children who are preschool age. Yeah. We had a bit of a baby boom really, with a number of our staff having children. They've been bringing their babies in while they've been on maternity, and we're going to be looking at working with sort of health visitors or parents of our children who have got babies, that they can come in and have like a little bit of a sort of coffee morning in here, and they can, you know, they can access it as well. So we're looking at how we can absolutely maximise it, but that's going to be one of the next plans.
Do you know what I hear a lot when you're talking? Like, it's not just about your children and it's not just about what happens in school. You're in the community quite a lot, aren't you? You go out, you knock on doors, you're constantly sort of servicing and supporting the people around the school as well as the children here.
Yeah.
And I think that's really special. And the fact that you can do that in this space as well, it adds an offer, doesn't it, to the children and the community?
Yeah, it is. You know, we're a school, we're in the community, we want to welcome our families that we have, but then we are also a school where we want to ensure that we're filling the places that we have available. We want to maximise what we believe we're doing really well. We want to expand that opportunity, you know, for more people to be coming involved in that. And that's what we're doing, you know, and we're looking at how best we can do it and how well we can do it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So this is our year 3 and 4 room, and I absolutely love this space. We've really calmed this space down. If you remember before, it was full of bright colours, loads of things everywhere, and it felt very chaotic. A very stressful place to be as a child who already is dealing with quite a lot of stress. What we've done instead is really calm it out. There are lots of our signature things, plants, lighting, cosy things all around this room, and we've even managed to incorporate parts of the room that Mel really wanted for this particular classroom. So I think that's a job well done.
If you're thinking about what you can do to enhance your own spaces, here are some of my best finds for this project and some of the key elements of these rooms.
Now, floor cushions are a great addition to any classroom, and we've brought them into this year 3-4 class because they're a younger age group. Now, being able to sit on the floor is really important for a lot of our children, and it's not something we really allow them to do. If they're feeling like they need to be close, sometimes that can be a feeling, you know, having something on your stomach on the floor can actually help you to concentrate. And that's what this will allow for the children. So we've got 2 nice big floor cushions here. These are from Matalan and honestly are like my best buy. Let me just tell you the story about these cushions. In Matalan, they were on sale for £5. These were supposed to be £29. So of course I bought the whole shop. So these floor cushions will really help the children if they want to lie down while they're watching the board or listening to the teacher, while they grab a book, or even just to chill if they need some space and some time for themselves. Get the kids on the floor. It's a really, really important part of their development, and it will help them stay engaged. And if they're on the floor and they're learning, does it really matter that they're on the floor? Now, if you remember, this was a really large purple tent, and I wanted to keep this feature in the room, and so did the teachers. This is a safe little nook that the children can hide away in and go and relax in or self-regulate in, calm themselves down in. So it's a really important feature of the room, and it's a really sturdy build as well, so we didn't want to take this out. What we're going to do here, because this isn't finished, is create a really nice sort of whimsical place for the children to come in and sit. We might have something up on the top here, we might build it out, but the idea is that the children can go in here, they can lie down, they can snuggle up, they can read, they can use fidget toys, or just listen to the class but not participate, whatever they need to really sort of self-soothe and get ready for learning, and to manage their own mental health and well-being and their own emotional states. Within the space, oops, just watch those lights, we've got lots of cosy things. So down here, this is actually a duvet. So I played around with this a lot in my head about what I wanted it to be. I was going to put a mattress in and some foam, but actually the best thing to do is to add a really big fat double duvet with one of these teddy duvet covers on. I don't know if you've seen those, but they're fabulous. They're really, really calming and sensory. So it's a teddy blanket or duvet on a big duvet cover, and then inside we've got lots of really nice cushions so the children can just go in and feel safe and secure, and they also light up as well. And then the last thing in this space is this. Now this is not just any old teddy. This is actually a door stopper, but it's weighted. And because it's weighted, if the children have that on their stomach or cuddle it, that sense of having an actual hug is something that they can get from this. So I wanted to include this in the space as well.
It's a lovely room now, the whole classroom, every bit of it is just going to be fantastic for the children.
We worked really hard for the day, putting together these rooms, and then finally they were complete.
So this is the Year 5-6 classroom space, and this room is particularly important for me, just because I know how important this space is going to be for these children, and it's some of their last experiences of primary school, which is really, really key. Now, the idea of a therapeutic classroom is that children can learn wherever they feel most comfortable, and there are lots of different seating options in this room, including the back sofa, where they can listen to what they're being taught at the front of the room comfortably from a sofa if they need to or if they want to. Obviously, that will be with the teacher's guidance. This particular room feels really, really nurturing now it's been made over, and there are lots of aspects about this room that really heighten that feeling of nurture, which I'm going to talk to you about because I think that they're so key to the outcomes for these kids. This is one of those areas. Now, the head teacher and the teachers really wanted this to be a nurturing space and a nurturing classroom. So they've actually had this bar table built on the kitchen area, which is amazing. This will be used to welcome the children in. And like I say, they might have toast here, but they might also have their dinner times here. If lunchtime is particularly overwhelming for some of these children, there's no reason why they can't use this space to eat. Part of this is around helping them to understand social skills and also have life skills for themselves. So they'll get their own bowls, they'll get their own plates, they'll set the table, they might put out knives and forks for each other, learn to safely use a toaster or boil a kettle, and all of those things are preparing children for the real world. Some of these children will be doing those things for themselves at home anyway, so doing them safely is a really important skill for them to have. And that is why the addition of this space is so special. They can learn here if they want to as well, but I just absolutely love the fact that a school has built a kitchen bar table within a classroom.
I think like the dining area is going to be great for them to have a bit of structure and conversation in the mornings, a bit of breakfast all together. The chairs and tables being in a round sort of setting just aids their conversations throughout the day.
It's really important, as we know, to have a therapeutic classroom that has a really comfortable seating area. So as I've said, we always try and put a sofa or armchairs within every room. This space is particularly special because of the way in which the teacher wants to use it. So this will be a space where children can come and relax and read and self-regulate. And there are some tools that she's added to this classroom to help them to do that, which we've put in baskets next to the sofa. So I'm going to show you some because I just think they're amazing. We've got a little worry monster here. So the teacher intends to use this whenever a child has a worry that maybe they can't share with other people. Its mouth zips open, these are fantastic, and they can put little worries or messages within its mouth. So that's a really lovely thing. It's also really soft and they can cuddle it too. And all children, no matter how old they are, really benefit from a cosy, soft teddy to cuddle. Then we've got this basket full of sort of fidgets and different resources. So we've got the poppers, everybody loves a popper. They've got little things that do all sorts of bits and bobs, but it's great to just have this next to the sofa so that while the children are listening, they can also be fidgeting if that's what they need to do to keep their brain engaged and to concentrate.
The teachers have been really invested in this project throughout the process, and I was keen to get their views on the rooms once they were completed. After all, it's them who'll be teaching in them every day.
It's just peaceful, calming, exactly how we wanted it, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
peaceful.
It's exactly as we
It is.
envisioned it would be, and some.
And some,
It looks fab. I mean, typically the environment is going to be something that the children will feel comfortable in. That's ideally. It may be an environment that some of the children don't generally have access to, you know, a dining table or calm space or space generally.
Yeah.
So, you know, that in itself is gonna help us deal with some of the other problems that they are experiencing just by having a calm environment, you know, and a calm starting point.
We're back today to see what the children think of their new classrooms. Now, it's not necessarily a reveal because the children have been in their classrooms now for about 3 to 4 days, and the children coming into this classroom are not actually here yet. They're going to be referred in throughout the year. So today we're going to speak to children who are using this classroom as their breakout spaces for maths and English, and we're going to get their thoughts on what they think of our beautiful therapeutic rooms.
When I first came here, I looked at the chairs and like, this doesn't look like the classrooms we have up the corridor. This looks like a whole new room to the school. And when I first sat on the chairs, I was like, I loved it. So soft and yeah.
More comfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very more comfortable.
Amazing.
I like this room because it's more comfy. The chairs are comfy to sit on, and I hated them wobbly blue chairs. They just annoy me.
That's amazing. So for you, the chairs are a really big deal. Yeah.
And I like the tables, how they're like circles. It's just the best shape because you get to go around like massive rectangles, squares around you and stuff.
How do you think that helps you if you're in a round circle? What's good about that?
And then you don't like, your books don't collide, so you don't like go on other people's books so they can't do that helps me. Yeah, because you have a bit of like space to put your stuff. Like, I have this space where I put my ruler and stuff there. And
So you've not got someone like stuck right next to you?
yeah.
What else? Go on.
So when you're working, like your arm has to like go there, but then their arm's like there, so it's really hard to like work with.
Why can't it be like for every classroom?
Do you think it should be?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think this should be the new classroom?
Well, the chairs are like really comfy, and the couches and that we can use them if it's wet break.
Yeah.
If we have to take like school pictures, we get on the floor, or we can all pick them.
Yeah. Do you think every classroom should look like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Why?
Well, because it looks more comfier, more cozier. You don't have to gather up too much information at once, so your brain doesn't explode.
When I go to when I sit on the chair, instead of it being like all the way back here, you could actually like sit back and write instead of just being all the way here and just like lean forward to write.
And how do you think that helps you?
Because then you can actually then it doesn't hurt your back when you try and move. I like all the tables and comfy stuff.
Good, that's good. Really good.
I like the reading area.
Yeah, the reading area. What's good about the reading area?
That it has loads of comfy stuff.
Like cushions and blankets and teddies. Yeah.
The response to the classroom's been amazing, hasn't it?
Really
I think they've really enjoyed the nice, calming, relaxing atmosphere that this classroom just creates, doesn't it? The lovely soft chairs, and they really enjoyed choosing where to sit, haven't they?
Yeah, it's almost as soon as they walk through the door that they're calm and they're ready to do whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing.
We thought there might be some argument about where to sit, but there's been no arguments whatsoever. They've just come in, sat down, And some of the children have just been chatting to themselves and we've overheard them talking. And one boy said, this classroom will make me want to come to school every day. And another one was just saying how calming it was. But they weren't saying that for us, they were just chatting to each other.
So you said then that you sometimes feel quite stressed when you're at school.
Yeah, sometimes when you can't, like,
just to have to even come in is a bit stressful. But then when you're here, if you were in this room every day, you think it would help you feel a lot calmer.
Yeah, because it makes you get up and want to do more stuff in school. Because it makes you think school's more fun.
I love that.
And then you go to school more often without getting mad or sad.
Do you think we need to tell all the head teachers that so that they all change their rooms? I think we should as well.
It feels more like, instead of a classroom, it feels more like an actual place you would want to come to, instead of somewhere you'd feel uncomfortable or itching.
That's a really great way to say it. Really great way. So you actually want to be in this room.
Yeah. Feel like home.
Yeah.
Do you think that this room should be the way that all schools are?
Yes.
So do you think that this should be the style of room? Yeah. That every single classroom should have?
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Because it'll improve the listening skills instead of like, because you're more relaxed and not fidgety.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It improves the learning quality because they, you can listen better and work better.
I think as well it works really well after lunchtime when they've been overstimulated.
Yeah.
They're coming in and it's giving them a space to calm down before they actually start, and it's solving a lot of issues that would have been in place beforehand, really, isn't it?
Yeah, they're really relaxing and they know which bits of the room to use, don't they, to relax and to come back ready to learn, which is what we wanted to achieve, wasn't it? That they were more engaged and they were ready to learn.
This particular classroom makeover is really, really close to my heart and extremely special. And that's because the truth is, we've got to put children's emotional and mental health at the core of all we do in education if we truly want them to learn. Now, these spaces have been designed with their well-being at the very core, from the seating to the plants to the lighting, all the way through to those things that the teachers put in the basket to help the children to regulate, figure out their feelings, fidget, calm down. And that is really, really important and not something you see very often. For me, as a child who went through my own childhood trauma, it can often feel like schools just don't get it. You're expected to perform, you've got all these pressures, and it can be extremely stressful to thrive in that environment. For these children, they're being welcomed into a space that is all about their well-being, and I'm really privileged to have been able to be part of that design. This is why we do therapeutic classrooms. What I hope is that the children who use these spaces come in and realise that they are not their trauma. It does not have to define them. In fact, they will be upskilled and empowered to understand how their experiences have affected their behaviour and what they need to do about it.
they'll learn to regulate, they'll learn to have social conversations and share and talk through different aspects of the room, the round tables, sitting at the bar stools and having breakfast together. All of these things are life skills that we don't allow children in our standard classrooms to do, yet here it's the very core of all of it. For me, this is a really, really special project. And I just hope that the children who come into these spaces actually go out into the world and are able to flourish despite their experiences. Because at the end of the day, that is what schools should be doing.